welcome to Gender Talk 211 show. My name is Eva Lopa and I am your host. Today's episode focuses on women in diplomacy. Our guest today is a diplomat and one of the most recognizable faces for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Please welcome Apuk Ayuel.
Welcome to the show. Look, I'm really happy to have you here.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here with you.
How are you doing?
Doing very well.
How's life?
Life is good. A bit hectic, but
I think for everyone.
Yes.
It's been hectic, challenging.
Yes.
Okay, we are moving, surviving. I'm really happy to have you here. It's the first time, I think.
Yes, it's my first time.
Right?
I've been admiring your show from far.
Thank you.
I'm happy to be here today.
Thank you. But you have been a friend of Gender Talk 211.
Yes.
Poetry.
Yes.
Yes. And now we officially have you. So welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Now, I've known you for quite some time. And because of the Arabic, I knew that you were in Khartoum at some point of your life.
Yes.
I found out that you actually were born in Juba.
Yes.
And you spent time in not just Sudan, but also Cairo.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit more
Some
about that.
research, actually. Yes, I was born here in Juba and lived here probably just the first 2 years of my life. Then we moved to Khartoum, and I lived there until I was 13 years old in Khartoum. Yeah. So most of my life, my
Childhood.
formative years were in Khartoum. Then from there, the whole issue of immigration and resettlement and the fact that things were not so good in Sudan at the time, we immigrated we actually left the country to Cairo, and we stayed there for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And we were able to be resettled through the IMM process
Yes.
to the United States.
Yes. So Cairo, you went to Austin, Texas,
Yes.
and ended up studying in political science. Why political science?
I think my father, you know how when we grew up, as kids, you will have, this one will be the engineer, this one will be the doctor. This one. We were groomed from an early age. And I'm supposed to have been the engineer, actually. I loved math and excelled in physics and stuff like that. So I actually started my college doing computer science and engineering.
Gotcha.
I wanted to do petroleum engineering. So I am in
Interesting. It's two different worlds.
Yes.
Completely.
But being in at that time, we are moving towards independence.
Yes.
Towards CPA. Actually, CPA is being signed, and South Sudanese around the world, the diaspora especially, were very involved in political advocacy and things like that.
Yeah.
So being a college student in Dallas, Texas, actually, I had an affinity to community organizing and being part of the structures that do advocacy. So I found myself in the university studying something completely different than what was developing as a passion for me, which was, more of political participation and advocacy and community organizing at the time. So second year of university, I decided to shift. And
So first year you were actually studying
no, I was studying computer science.
computer science.
And I actually, towards the third year is when I shifted. Because in the US, what you do is, you have the first year, basically you are doing your basics, things that are transferable, things that are the same across all,
foundation. Yes.
Yeah, so I wasn't losing too many classes by changing the major, so I changed my major, and I ended up minoring in anthropology also, because I had this passion for culture and things like that.
Do you think how you grew up as a child, your life in Khartoum and Cairo and all of the movement, do you think your environment also led you to the decision that you made?
I think being South Sudanese, of that generation, of my generation, we were exposed to the struggle
Yes.
for independence, the struggle of liberation.
Yes.
We grew up. I don't want to generalize, but for myself, I grew up in a setting where everyone was involved,
Yes.
in one way or another, especially my father. And so growing up in Khartoum, he was working with these coordination offices that we had for the different states. And so the people around us, we could hear political sentiments. You could hear, you could hear some of the dissent. You could hear the aspirations for South Sudan
Yes.
to be a country for independence. I remember, or at least the aspirations for peace.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
yeah.
And I think after independence, 2011 actually happened, there was that sense of what can I do to contribute to the vote?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How can I do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, that started a long time before, and I remember. I'm gonna date myself, but I remember being in the United States in high school, and I'm not sure if you were born.
I think I was.
Yes, but 1998. Remember that famous picture of a child famished, cannot walk anymore, and just kind of
with the bird.
and then the vulture
Culture.
just kind of stalking. That picture became headline news in the United States, like shortly after we went from Egypt to the United States. And so for me, that became I don't want to I don't know if it's a catalyst, but it just became something that stayed in my mind and in my spirit. And as young as I was, I asked the question, what can I do?
Yes. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So now take me to homecoming. What year was that when you came back to Juba to officially settle?
To officially settle, it's complicated. So I came first I wanted to come immediately after CPA was signed, but I ended up coming, I want to say 2008, 2009. My grandmother had passed in the United States and we had to bring her home. So I came. But then I was already engaged with the South Sudan mission to the United States. Remember, the government of Southern Sudan we were still in one country, but we had the ability to have missions abroad.
Correct.
So I was working there. And so already engaged in some of the things that were happening. So officially, it wasn't until July 2010 that I came and moved to live and work here. I was assigned to be part of the post-referendum negotiations, technical negotiations committee. So I was there was something called the technical secretariat for the negotiations committee.
Okay.
And the negotiations were between South Sudan and the government of Sudan on how to manage affairs after separation in the event of separation.
True. Affairs of interest.
Yeah. Well, we had a negotiation process that spanned for over almost 2 years, and it came. It resulted in, they called them the 9 agreements between Sudan and South Sudan.
Okay.
At that time. Yeah.
What were some of those agreements?
Agreements on the sharing of debts and assets, agreements on nationality, agreements on how to deal with currency and banking. So it was a massive,
Yeah.
it was a massive undertaking.
Yes.
So, yeah.
With that already you started somewhat of a career path in, let's say, public relations.
Yes, I was borrowed from being in diplomacy because
Gotcha.
yes,
To the other.
to this negotiations sphere.
And then after that,
Then after that, I went back to our Ministry of Foreign Affairs. At that time, it was established after independence. So I went back to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I was sent back to our embassy in Washington, D.C. for a brief period. From there, I was assigned to our embassy in South Africa.
Wow, I actually didn't know that.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't.
Yeah, so
I did it.
July 2012, I was in South Africa in our embassy.
Wonderful. Women love resolving issues through dialogue, or they're very good at that. If anything, we can resolve anything through dialogue, and diplomacy depends on dialogue a lot of the times. But do you think that's true, that many women are attracted to the diplomatic sector? And why do you think that is?
I think I will not generalize, because I think as women, we are all unique in our own ways, in our own capacities, in our own aspirations, in our own ambitions. I think we are capable of being anything. What it takes is the will to pursue what you want, but also it takes the commitment for you to hone the skills necessary to perform your job to the best possible way. But saying that, of course, I do agree with you. We talk. We are known to talk a lot, and we are known to have mastered the art of dialogue in our own private and public settings. We do that. I think what attracted me personally to diplomacy is first this passion for serving the country. Is something that is embedded, but then looking at what platforms are available. Looking what platforms are available at that time, it was the most natural entry point, because that's the platform that was most available for me, being in diaspora. So if I wanted to engage in South Sudanese issues, that was the most apparent platform. But then I think also personally, studying political science with a focus in international relations, I've already been grooming myself for this career path. I think we have a lot that we bring to the table as women. We bring resourcefulness.
Yes.
We bring different perspectives that oftentimes are more. I don't want to say comprehensive. We look at many different angles. We incorporate many different perspectives.
Yeah.
Because as a woman, naturally, as a mother, you are there not thinking only of your interests. You are thinking about the home. You are thinking about the children. You are thinking about. So you're always in the center of community, and so that kind of perspective, it brings, it enriches our decision making and our understanding of issues.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I always think any table, you put a woman on, you see the woman on that table, she's going to give you different perspectives. She's going to look at everyone and come up with solutions that impact everybody positively.
Yeah.
So I 100% agree on that. Do you think there's been enough representation of women in diplomacy in South Sudan? Especially in leading positions.
The word enough. We want all of it. I think
with you on that.
We don't want it to be about numbers. We want it to be about competence, and we want it to be about effectiveness. For me personally, In diplomacy, it's almost, when you compare diplomacy, the most natural comparison is actually military. Because we work in a hierarchy. That's one. And two, we work on orders. As a diplomat, you are, depending on where you are, you may be a foot soldier.
Yeah.
In the lower ranks. As you ascend, you become maybe a counselor, someone who influences decisions. As you go higher, you become like a general. You are commanding. And you are responsible for the vision of maybe an embassy, or also you are responsible for ensuring that you what is the word? That you pursue the country's interest in a certain country or in a certain area. And so we are more comparable to the military. And so it's about who is best fit
Yes.
for a position. And I think when we decide to place someone based on that, I think more and more women will present themselves as the best fit. And this is something that I feel that we are moving towards that slowly. We had, in terms of numbers, we have women. I was just with a group that was appointed or promoted from the ministry to be an ambassador. So in that group included 58 diplomats, senior diplomats, and out of the 58, we had 22 women, which was something very, very different than what has been happening, but it's something very commendable. We really, as a ministry, we appreciated the president and our leadership for doing so, for promoting so many women to that level. This is a level of general.
Yes.
To that level. Currently, one of the most prominent stations in diplomacy is in New York. And currently we have a young diplomat, a young woman who is an ambassador, who is at the helm as our permanent representative to
I think Ambassador
Cecilia Ding.
Yes.
She's our permanent representative in New York, and that's, in terms of diplomacy, that's the apex.
Yes. I was actually watching
diplomacy.
her a few days ago, I think at a UN conference or summit, something.
Yes.
She was speaking, yes.
Yes. We have several head of missions in different countries around the world who are women, and also currently we have our undersecretary who's responsible for the whole administration of our ministry in foreign diplomacy and the whole world is also a female, Ambassador Agnes Oswald, who is a career diplomat. So there is a lot that has happened recently, and we are pushing for more. And I think one of the best things in terms of when there's a prejudice against someone, some of the misperceptions in terms of women inability or incapability, the only way you can demystify that is by actually having someone there who performs sometimes even exceeding all expectations.
Yes.
And so that you demystify this idea that a woman is not capable of X, Y, and Z.
100%. Now, you're one of the women, the many women that I know that is able to do something, for me, extraordinary. And I think it's something that you can teach all of us how to do, which is balance between work and also having home. You're someone that I know does it all.
Not
I don't know anyone that's busier than you are. But you're still, you're a wife, you're a mother, you have a beautiful family, a beautiful home.
you.
One of the conversations that I have with women all the time is the balance. And this is something almost all women experience. But if you do this, you can't do this.
Yes.
And if you leave this, you can. But you can. You can. How do you find that balance?
I think it's always a struggle to do work-life balance, but I think it's important to prioritize the balance. I think you are only able to do it with support.
Yes.
With support, and I would thank my husband for being supportive, because it's a career like mine is very demanding in terms of time, in terms of mental energy.
Yes.
It's quite demanding, and so without having a supportive partner and having support at home with the people who fill in the blanks when you have to be most of the time here, or you have to travel, or you have to. So having that supportive system is quite important. And I think second to that is just prioritizing family. You have to prioritize, you have to give your time, because especially a growing family, a young family, at their formative years, kids need you present. They need
Yes.
your time more than anything else.
Yes.
So how do you do that? And I think sometimes as working mothers, this is some of the guilt that holds us back. When you feel like, okay, I am
Doing too much on the side of
yeah, I am
being
not
here.
present
Yes.
here. I think we always struggle with that, but with support and with being mindful, of okay, how much can I stray on this side, and what do I need to compensate? But in addition to all of that, your own physical and mental health, and it's important, because if you are saying that I have to give 100% here and 100% here and 100, you end up finding yourself burnt out. So if you have the support necessary, and especially the one that tells you, hey, take care of yourself, take the day off,
Yes.
hey, you need this for yourself, it's also important, because you cannot have the balance if you're burnt out. And so I think most of it is us muting the guilt.
Gotcha.
You have to mute the guilt. You have to prioritize, and you have to take care of yourself also. Because if you're burnt out, you can't do any of it.
Oh, I agree. Definitely. Yeah, it's really important for you to just take care of your mental health, woman, man, everyone.
Yes, and just your physical health.
Yes.
You need.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So now, fast forward a few years later, we are now at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Spokesperson at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Was that a big change? I mean, for me, I think that's a career highlight, first of all. But how different is it right now?
Fast forward.
It's a very long fast forward.
Yes. I think it's I am privileged actually to have this platform, and one thing that I think a lot of people don't know, that I've been doing this work for a
Very long time. Yes.
I started with the government of South Sudan mission in Washington D.C. in 2007.
Yes.
And so it's a long fast forward. I think just being recently promoted, and then being given this assignment, I think it's for me much appreciated. It's like a vote of confidence, and it's a vote of also recognition, and I don't take it for granted. I think personally, I think you know, you to be at the forefront of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. You speak on behalf of the country. You speak on behalf of the ministry. I am the face, projecting
Yes.
our positions and our foreign policy stance on issues is something that I don't take for granted, and is something that I really take seriously and try my best to do the best I can. I think I've been groomed throughout the years through some of the challenges and the adversities of just work. I agree. And dealing with different things. I have a lot to learn also. As you know, as I've told you earlier, I'm actually camera shy. But one of the things that I do actually is basically, once I'm given a task, I want to perform
Yes.
it at my best.
Yes.
And so, yeah.
It's funny when you said you're camera shy. Someone watching this will not even believe it. First of all, one of the first things I saw was social media reacting to you, being the spokesperson of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and people were really they received it so well and positively. This is how we should be represented. This is how the ministry should be represented. And someone was saying, this new woman that's a diplomat. I'm like, she's not new. She's been doing this for so long.
Yes.
It's not new. So I think everything that we've done, like you said, was preparing you for this moment. You may be camera shy, but I think the confidence you've built up throughout the years kind of shines. So now, being at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, I think there are a few things that you can help me and others out there understand a little bit more. I hear this all of the time. Diplomatic relations, regional relations, international relations. And I think just women discussing different topics with other women. We need women in diplomacy to come and represent. I really want to know what role would a diplomat play? Let's say, when we say regional relations, what does that mean? When we say international relations, what does that mean? And what role would a diplomat play in that? Also, how can women diplomats contribute to building or strengthening those relations?
I think these are all parts of our work. But I want to say this. I'm thankful for the reception, and I'm thankful. I've heard some people send me some comments that are out there, and I'm very thankful for this reception. I think what it says is that our public is interested in the affairs of our country. They are interested in understanding what goes on, but also contributing to what goes on.
Yes.
And that is much appreciated when you have a conscientious public, people who are doing the civic duties of actually interacting with the work of their government.
Absolutely.
And I think this is a great shift in our kind of public discourse.
Yes.
And social media has attributed a lot to that and contributed
Yes.
a lot to that, and I think it's a good thing. In terms of debunking some of these what do you call them? Just jargon. It's all part of our work. Now, a diplomat, if you are assigned, within the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, our work is divided into different directorates. So we have a directorate called bilateral affairs. So this is a chunk of country to country relations. So bilateral affairs deals with all the embassies here and all the countries that we have diplomatic missions. So this is one-on-one, country to country. So this is bilateral affairs or diplomatic affairs between two entities. Now, we have another directorate called the multilateral affairs. Multilateral affairs, under that you have the international organizations like the United Nations. So they deal with this international diplomacy, international relations. We have also another department for regional organizations. So they're there if you are assigned to that directorate or that department, then you are dealing with the African Union, the IGAD, etc., the East African Community, and etc. Now, what happens within our ministry is that, and then we have administration, we have other directorates.
Yes.
But a diplomat, when you come in the lower rank of like maybe a third secretary, then you are assigned to different departments to work and to learn the work of that department and the work of the ministry. Ideally, by the time you get to a senior diplomat level, like a consular or these are jargons I'm adding, MPs, then you would have worked in all departments, and you get knowledge about the work of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
So that's how you build a portfolio, basically, to go to the next stage.
And then you're not allowed, you are basically start specializing at the higher. You could decide to be mostly on protocol and public relations, or you could be mainly, you have built expertise in multilateral, affairs like these regional organizations or international organizations you worked within the United Nations or in Geneva, or etc. So we don't specialize until higher, but then we are trained throughout our careers to be able to do the work of to be a multifaceted diplomat.
Wonderful. You explained it so well, which I really want, especially young women, to understand how this even works and what kind of opportunities it actually provides. So you explained it so well, debunked it, let me say. Very cool.
That's right. We can have a whole lecture somewhere, someday.
You should. Yes. I think you should. Now, speaking of young women, what would be your advice for a young woman pursuing career in diplomacy?
Actually, if you come to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs now, and I welcome you, you're most welcome to come sit and chat with me, you will find that the ministry is actually majority women. If you go to this position of third secretary, we are well over 50%.
Love it.
Yes, who are young women. So there are young women in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs who are starting from down now, like from the entry level. One of the things that people need to understand about diplomacy, it's a personal career. It is a personal career. You come in with a conviction, with a passion, but while you are in it, you build yourself. And thankfully, if you get deployed to another country, you have also opportunities to build yourself, to build your expertise, or to do further education and etc. But it's a personal career.
Yes.
Because it's a representational career. So when you are made spokesperson, it's not what you've learned necessarily, is what you've honed in terms of skills that will allow you to shine and will allow you to do your work as best as possible. So when you come, and I think it's the same with you, like your career now.
Right.
It's a personal career.
Yes.
You are employed as a cohort.
Right.
So you come, maybe you are 100 of you come, or 50 of you are employed in the same time. But it's a personal career. So as the years go, some will build expertise on this, some will build expertise on this, some will,
You make it what it
you
is.
make
You
it,
decide what that happens.
you basically mold your career.
Yes. No, I would definitely describe it.
Yes, and so you come in, and it depends on your passion, and it depends on your work ethics, and it depends on your, in terms of not necessarily in terms of where you get to, but in terms of what you become as a diplomat.
Mhm. In all of the years that you've learned so much, I'm sure you've grown so much, you've moved from one position to the other, I'm sure purpose has also changed over time. I also think just purpose and knowing oneself is a huge part of it. I think for as long as I've known you, I didn't see you doing anything else. But you probably could. I didn't see you getting, I just saw you be a diplomat.
Yeah.
That's where I saw you. That's where I felt like you will be your best. You will give it your best because you're passionate about it. You're passionate about the country. So I think purpose and just having patience.
Yeah.
And those things come with something that you really believe in.
Yeah, and I think sometimes, and this is, I hope, I'm not misunderstood, but a part of this new generation coming behind us is a bit of impatience. I think it's important to come in and to give yourself time to learn and give yourself time to grow. I think in my generation, maybe we were a bit impatient because now we had microwave, but at that time, but we with your generation or generation behind us, there is so much. There's so much that makes everything
Very
quick, and that translates into also personality and expectations.
Yes.
We expect things like this. But like I said, diplomacy is like military. You come in and you learn, and there is a chain of command, and there is hierarchy, and there is a lot that actually kind of controls and frames things.
Yes.
And you have to also learn. We are building a bureaucracy in this country slowly, but you have to learn that there are structures and there are things within, that kind of slow down things.
Yes, and it doesn't just happen.
Yes, and so we don't come in immediate high expectations of wanting to be here or there.
Another reason why I wanted you to debunk the ministry earlier, because I find a lot of young diplomats think this is what I'm going to study, and then I'm going to become an ambassador.
Yes, but it takes, and because we started our foreign ministry and had to run immediately, so some people came in and immediately came from up, and we had to go things backwards. But traditionally, you enter the Ministry of Foreign Affairs as a third secretary, maybe with you just graduate from college and you enter at that level, and it takes 4 years, to go to the next level. So you have third secretary, second secretary, first secretary, you have counselor, and you have minister, then potentiary. Those are 5 positions between you and being ambassador. And if everyone is 4 years to get your promotion to the next level, those are 20 years. 20 years in your career. And sometimes it doesn't happen like that, because as you go up, maybe the criteria for promotion, depending on your performance or depending on any other thing, you may be delayed. So at least 5 years, if you enter, for you to become ambassador. It's a position to which you are promoted, but it requires a decree, an appointment by the president. And so I think we don't have that perspective. We think you enter and you want to be ambassador immediately.
Yes.
But then also another drawback of ascending quickly is that you don't learn the work and you don't become a multifaceted diplomat because you learn things at every level. And your level of assignment and your level of responsibility increases as you go higher.
Right.
And then you do yourself a disservice if you assign quickly, because then you get to a level where you cannot fill the shoes. And that is not something good. And so I'm saying this to say, if these young people and young women have a passion for it, it's good. You come and you learn. And so when you become what you aspire to become, you are honed, your skills are honed, you've learned, you've grown, and you will be able to take up those responsibilities.
Well, thank you so much for being here. This conversation was nothing short of amazing.